live stream. I'm going to give YouTube a few minutes. Let's get those notifications out. I want to talk about the Super Bowl distraction. That's right. Let me make sure this thing is. Let's see. Maybe. Let me see. Maybe this is. Let me see. Okay. I see people rolling in. I thought maybe I see 27 likes and only 2 people in the building. I don't know how that's possible. Everybody, as you enter the broadcast, make sure you like the video. They already know that I want to bring y'all some pivotal information. You know, these algorithms already know what time it is. See, the world is distracted right now. There was something very daunting happening during the Super Bowl. And a lot of people ain't paying no attention to it, but I'm going to bring it out because at the end of the day, this is New Breed Global Truth. And that's what we spread over here, the truth. I see y'all rolling in. What's going on? Azariah's in the building. All right, I see y'all. Yeah, continue to get the likes up. Everybody who's joining has to hit the like button on your way in. All right. That's the only way they're going to send a notification out. And this is an important message. Now, the Super Bowl was a huge distraction. It was also a ritual that was performed where there was a great deal of military propaganda going on during the half bowl, the halftime show. And a lot of people are torn between, was Kendrick Lamar's performance good or was it lackluster? Was it lit or was it trash? That's what the whole world is talking about right now, all on social media. Listen, I'm going to put this out here. Every Super Bowl performance is trash because they're spreading a demonic message. When they got the eyes of 133 million people, bet your bottom dollar that they're going to spread some type of agenda. And a lot of the times it's a satanic agenda. And this happens constantly. So that's just my opinion on it, because I can see the message behind the message. Now, Kendrick Lamar is a puppet. Let's get that out the way. He's controlled opposition. There's no doubt about that. This is the same guy who has a Christ complex, posing as the Messiah, wearing a crown of thorns with diamonds in it. This is the same guy who was on stage with all black eye contacts, looking like a demon. This is the same guy that has a song called Lucy, where he's rapping about selling his soul to the devil. So I know that he comes in the spirit of being woke, right? He makes people believe he's enlightened. Yeah, he's enlightened to the knowledge of good and evil, the forbidden knowledge, sacred science, as well as masonry. That's the truth about Kendrick Lamar. And that performance was spreading military propaganda using Uncle Sam. And a lot of people bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Now, something was happening during the Super Bowl. Something that nobody's talking about. Now, mind you, brothers and sisters, the Super Bowl took place in New Orleans. Now, I don't know if y'all knew this, but about 4 weeks ago, let me pull this up some. About 4 weeks ago, this aired on the news. And it aired before the Super Bowl. And what was happening in New Orleans was a gathering of homeless people. And these homeless people were being brought to a facility. Now, I already talked about this mass homeless what I don't know what Trump is calling it exactly. I guess we could call it like a relocation plan is what he calls it. That part. Now I find something very ominous about this. So I want y'all to check this out. Let's see if y'all's discernment is on point too. Let's go.
Scrambled to erect a temporary center for homeless people ahead of the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras at the direction of Governor Landry.
Chris Joseph reports the shelter divides residents and leaders.
Monday afternoon, crews worked to get what the state calls the transitional center off the ground. We weren't allowed in, but from the outside, it's a 70,000 square foot Port Nola warehouse. The state says the 200-bed facility will be caring for the homeless community by this Wednesday.
We will give them opportunity to have food. They will have shower facilities, medical facilities, as well as mental health counseling.
So my first question is, why wasn't anybody allowed inside? Why wasn't anybody allowed inside? So that's a very interesting question that I have, and that makes absolutely no sense. And from what I'm hearing, word on the streets with certain connections that we have in New Orleans, there's some people who has been separated from their families yet to be seen. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? There's people who are not have basically been separated from their peoples. And what are they hiding where nobody is allowed in there? Now, this happened right during the Super Bowl in New Orleans. They gathered up the homeless, put them in a facility where nobody had access to. Let's go.
They'll also be on France Road, an 11-minute drive from the Superdome and a nearby encampment. A sign at the encampment explains the benefits of the center and promised transportation.
Now, notice it says in that sign, relocation notice. So they tore down the tent cities. This is like something off of They Live. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember on the They Live movie, right? When they were bringing the army through and they were tearing down the tent cities and they were just snatching people up. This is how this went down. People they did have a relocation notice that they had to leave. But a lot of these people had nowhere to go. So a lot of these people more than likely trusted the government and went into these facilities. Now, I'm not saying something happened, but this just seems odd to me that right now, with all the ethnic purging that we got going on in this country, all of a sudden, they're snatching the homeless up during the Super Bowl. And we already know the Super Bowl is one huge distraction. I personally believe it's a travesty being committed. And I also believe that it's a huge human rights violation. But anyway, let's go.
Encampment explains the benefits of the center and promised transportation to the facility. But it also warned law enforcement could get involved if people don't leave.
Law enforcement could get involved if people don't leave.
One resident who wanted to remain anonymous says he'll leave, but he's not going to the center. What's your plan?
No, I'm not trying to go. No.
See, the homeless are already hip. They're not trying to go because, listen, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret here. In America, the homeless get experimented on. You know, the have-nots of our country are often violated. Their human rights are just completely tarnished. And more often than not, they actually get sacrificed. Now, I know that may sound kind of crazy to you listening from the outside looking in. You're probably thinking that can never happen here. On the contrary, anytime you have a system that's ethnic purging the way they are, and we're going to get into more of what America's doing right now, and I'm going to explain this to you. During the Super Bowl, this happened for a reason. All right? But let's continue.
I think it's going to be just way too many people, and it's going to turn into just...
That's right, Jackie. Also, organ harvesting happens.
disaster.
Local leaders are divided on the plan. Representative Alonzo Knox released a statement in support, saying the current encampments are unsafe and pose risks to public health.
They're unsafe and they pose risk to public health. Now, I'm going to have to agree with that. Because why are y'all not letting anybody in to see what type of conditions they're in? I'll tell you why, because they look at it like those people are in the streets. So whatever conditions we put them in, it got to be better than the streets, right? Anytime you have a homeless man saying, look, I'm getting up out of here, but I ain't finna end up in none of these camps. Now, what about the elderly that couldn't move? What about the elderly who couldn't relocate? What about those out there who have, physical ailments that are debilitating? What do you think is happening to those people? Now, let's go.
Meanwhile, City Council member Leslie Harris provided Fox 8 a document from the Workforce Group, which will help run the center. It shows that if the center operates for 90 days, it will cost an estimated $16 million. She says the city asked the state for
Now, I want you to hear how much money. This is what we got to pay attention to. They only relocated 200 people into this facility. For how long? We do not know. Did they only do this for the Super Bowl? And then they let them back into the streets to go where? This is what I want you to consider. For a 90-day period, we're talking about $16 million. Excuse me? 16 million. That's an awful lot. That's an awful lot of money. They could actually help the poor with that instead of relocating them for a night. This is why I believe it's something darker. What is all of this money being spent on? Sister 1973, thank you for the scripture. Proverbs 22 and through 24. Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. Absolutely. This is real talk. Somebody said they cleaning that money. And see, that's the crazy part. Our country doesn't care for the poor at all. But they're taking $16 million to do what? They only relocated 200 people into a facility that nobody can come in. I think 16 million was spent on experimentations. I think it's a lot darker than we think it is. How do y'all think they roll out these various, I'm trying to word this without, raising any flags here. How do you think they raise out these contagions? How do you think they do it on the homeless? And somebody said it could be money laundering. It could be that too. But just the way they did this, I'm leaning on it being a little bit of both. A little bit of money laundering, a little bit of human experimentation. It could have been scientists up in there, bro. We don't know. You know why? Nobody was allowed in there. Nobody was allowed in there. And even the homeless man was like, nah, I ain't going there. I'm not going there. That was an intelligent brother. Let's go.
She says the city asked the state for $8 million to address the homelessness issue.
Now, why? Now, the city asked the state to give $8 million of those dollars to address the homeless issue. So where's this money going? You could clean with $8 million. You could clean up the homeless in your state, in your city. No problem. You can use that money to open up a homeless shelter, an actual shelter. $8 million, you can get a decent shelter built. Multiple shelters built, spread out through throughout the state. But they're spending this money doing what? That's right, Job 24:14. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy. Man. I didn't even plug my sound deck in, but man. The murderer rises with the light, killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. Telling you. I'm telling you, that's how it really be happening.
After the Taylor Swift concert,
we could have had people housed and in shelter already.
Governor Jeff Landry's office told Fox 8 that document was not the final proposal, but did not provide any other figures. Back on France Road, those who live and work at the nearby dock say they were blindsided by the news.
Now, New Orleans stay getting hit with all kind of attacks, man. Spiritual attacks, that is. You know, New Orleans, you know, we know, those in the know, understand that those levees were blown up. Allegedly. Allegedly, those levees were blown up when Hurricane Katrina took place. And the reason why these type of spiritual attacks that manifest physically keep happening is because, yes, as Easter Wiley said it, it's Sin City. It's so much witchcraft and sorcery. For them, this was the perfect place to host the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, you done did all these rituals that led up to the Super Bowl, and then during the Super Bowl, you go snatch up the homeless. This actually happened during the Super Bowl. I have an article to show that I want to read up on too. Let's go.
I'm glad that they're giving people a place to stay for sure. It's a little interesting that it's right next to where I live, though.
We're going to have to increase security. We're going to have to be more vigilant on who's in and out of the yard. We got to take care of our customers.
The state plans to move in the new neighbors this week.
So, hold on.
Now, the sign at the encampment promised 24/7 security at the facility.
They got 24/7 security. Why? Because they don't want nobody coming up in there. That security is not to secure the homeless. That security is to make sure that nobody runs through and uncover anything. They spending a lot of money on security. Writer What Up says in 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service, working with the Tuskegee Institute, began a study to record the natural history of syphilis. It was originally called the Tuskegee Study of Untreated Syphilis. Right, exactly. And this is what happens. This is who they conduct these type of experiments on now. You know, it used to be our people. I'm talking about those from the diaspora. Now it's the have-nots of society. And of course, we still get experimented on too, knowingly and unknowingly. Because nowadays, people will line up to be experimented on if it means a paycheck. Isaiah 59:7, their feet run to do evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Desolation and destruction are in their highways. Absolutely. Now, I have a article that I want to read. Hold on. Where's that article? Because this happened during the Super Bowl. So it was out of the sight of the Super Bowl. It says the New Orleans warehouse for homeless people out of sight of Super Bowl visitors. So this is what we need to understand. This is near the Super Bowl. And they put this place out of sight while everybody's cheering. And, you know, you got Serena Williams acting a rabbit ass fool, crip walking when she lost a sister to gang violence. The irony of that. Serena Williams crip walking when she lost her younger sister back in the day to gang banging gun violence. All to be petty towards Drake. And I don't like Drake, for the record. I don't like none of these celebrities. They all evil and wicked. But this married woman, anyway, I ain't even gonna rant on that, bro. Y'all see, I'm about to go into a whole diatribe about that married woman that had the snuffleupagus wig on out here crip walking. That made her look horrible, made her look bad. But anyway, our people like pettiness. Our people like pettiness, so it is what it is, right? Anyway, let's continue. It goes on to say, It is only 7 miles away from the New Orleans Superdome. It says the 76,000 seat stadium that will host the weekend Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I want you to hear what this just said here. Pay attention, y'all. I know I be cracking jokes sometimes. I be doing my thing with that. You know what I'm saying? But point I'm making is this was very close to the Super Bowl, 7 miles away. 7 miles away. And everybody, if y'all can just get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get them likes up. It says, anyway, in a northeasterly direction, towards the, what does that say, Pontchartrain, sits a charmless gated perimeter secured by a fence topped with barbed wire. That sounds like a prison. Look, secured by a fence topped with barbed wire, positioned off a highway. That sounds like a prison. Why not use the money and allocate it the right way and build actual shelters that are like homes? Why does the homeless have to be in barbed wire fenced, heavily secured with bodyguards and police type of facilities? What is this? It goes on to say, this is no place for pedestrians. The closest fast food outlets are half an hour away on foot, though the road immediately outside has no sidewalks. So they're not even close to anything public for real. It says the warehouse has no eye-level windows. There's no eye-level windows. There have been plumbing issues, so portable toilets remain in view at the entrance. 2 security guards educate who comes in and who leaves. A police car is also visible. Yo, this is odd. This is very odd stuff. And they calling this a transitional center. What do y'all think they're transitioning them to? Talk to me, y'all. How is it a transitional center? Are you transitioning them to, I don't know, a home? Where are they going? I believe they being transitioned to the upper room. Or they being transitioned to the cloning labs. It says a new temporary home for New Orleans homeless population, unveiled by Louisiana government. Now, listen, if this is a temporary home, why is it barbed wire fences? Why is it secured like Alcatraz? Why is nobody allowed in there? And this was happening during the Super Bowl. And they're bragging about it being out of sight and out of mind, 7 miles from the Super Bowl. Why? Because everybody was paying attention to the Super Bowl. Everybody was being distracted. Everybody was there cheering on their favorite football team. Meanwhile, the homeless in their state is being collected. How many of y'all by show of one seen Soylent Green, the movie Soylent Green? By show of ones. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Soylent Green is a story. It is a rather interesting movie. And it was aired back in, I want to say it was aired in the 40s. It was in black and white. It's an old film. In this film, everybody was either rich or they were poor. There were no more middle class. And although it was an old film, it was like a post-apocalyptic type film, or I would say not a post-apocalyptic. Let's word it this way. It was more so like a coming to age film, because this is where we're at with it now. There is no middle class. And so everybody would get their daily siphon, and it would come in a bundle. And this bundle would be their daily rations, what they would eat. Yeah, we would call it that, a dystopia future. It's definitely like a dystopian future, right? And all of these people would go to these facilities to die. I'm literally, they would be rounded up, placed on trucks, and they would go to transition. They actually use the word transition. And they would go there, and come to find out at the end of the movie, the Soylent Green that everybody was eating, their daily rations, was the people who was going to the facilities to die. They was getting grounded up and putting them and basically putting a loaf. So just something to consider, man. I don't think they just make this stuff up. Listen, look, if you living in the United States, there is no farm animals like that no more. I want y'all to think about this. How many of you all drive down country roads and see a whole lot of cows anymore? Y'all remember just last year, farmlands were catching on fire. We talking about thousands of cows, thousands of livestock, thousands of chickens up in a blaze. I believe they was hitting them with direct energy weapons. So where are they getting all this meat? I'm just saying, you gotta use your mind. Where are they getting this stuff? Somebody said, Bree, look up how Gates has been approved to basically take corpses through electrosis and fertilize his farms. See? That's wild. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to look that up. Now, it says, welcome to the Transitional Center, a new temporary home for New Orleans population. Unveiled by Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry. In mid-January, it represents an attempt to relocate up to 200 unhoused people who were camping in areas close to the Superdome. Now, I can understand these people wanting to clean up the streets because, hey, you know, people just don't want to see a bunch of homelessness when they're going to see the Super Bowl. I get it. You know, instead of helping the people, y'all got money to go to the Super Bowl. Instead of, helping the homeless and doing what the Bible says, right? Giving to the homeless. Nah, we're just going to hide them. We're going to stash them away. I get it. But why are they in these facilities that nobody can get in? And also another question is, where is the $16 million that was supposed to be allocated towards this particular initiative? Where is this money going? Now, $16 million to embalm bodies and do experiments and harvest organs and for 200 people, I can see that that'd be being worth about 16 million in work. From all the people who are going to eat off of the organs, all the people who are going to eat off of the trafficking that's going on, allegedly. Anyway, according to Landry, or Republican endorsed by President Donald Trump, during his race in 2023, relocations were a necessary step amid heightened security in New Orleans following the New Year's Day terrorist attack. I ain't supposed to say that word, but I'm reading. That night, a man rammed a pickup truck into a crowd of pedestrians, killing 14. Now, why are they bringing this up? See, more sacrifices. Relocations were a necessary step amid security in New Orleans following the New Year's Day attack. That night, when a man rammed a pickup truck into a crowd of pedestrians, eliminating 14 and injuring dozens more. See, I'm telling you, Sin City stay getting hit with all of these senseless crimes and all of these type of attacks. It goes on to say, and the best interest of every citizen's safety and security, to give the unhoused humane and safe shelter as we begin welcoming the city of New Orleans for both Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. So they still going to be celebrating Mardi Gras and, you know, doing their witchcraft and they Satanism and hoodoo and juju and voodoo and spells. And, you know, hey, New Orleans, you got to learn, right? Got to learn the hard way. The same day, relocations notice sprang up at encampment close to the Superdome. Now, let me ask y'all this. Was there homeless people that ran people over on New Year's? I said, was there homeless people that ran people over during New Year's? Because my question is this, what does this heinous crime have to do with those who are homeless? Absolutely nothing, right? You see how the author is trying to connect this dot here. What does that have to do with it? Now it goes on to say, flyers for the transitional centers promise comfort and amenities, 3 meals a day plus snacks, bedding and hygiene kits, showers, working toilets, heating, laundry facilities, and recreational area with a television. Now we know that's a lie because nobody confirmed that that's what they got. Oh, are we to believe that they just in there living right? But it's barbed wire fences. There's no windows eye level. It says there was the pledge of basic medical care on site nurses and counselors. So you're gonna have nurses there and counselors. It could be some shock therapy going on. This screams human experimentation. And that's right, CJ. Jails do that. Prison give you 3 square meals and snacks. And you have a TV. But that don't mean you're not sleeping. That don't mean you're not sleeping in a cell. That don't mean that you don't have plumbing issues. And that don't mean because you got 3 square meals that those meals are actually good meals. Nobody was allowed in this facility. And nobody wants to speak out for those who don't have a voice. And this is what's so evil about Babylon. America is just evil, bro. It says there was a pledge for basic medical care on site, nurses and counselors, and support for your new start via long-term housing assistance. The leaflet, however, included a warning: failure to comply may result in enforcement actions. See that word, those 2 words? Enforcement actions or legal proceedings. That means if they roll through there and somebody don't want to get up, they can snatch them up and throw them in the back of a truck. Telling you, Ephesians 5:11 says, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Expose them. It goes on to say, and just look at this place. This don't look like somewhere that you want to be. That's why that one guy said, look, I'm going to take my chances out here in the streets. I'm just going to relocate. It says, Laundry's press release says some people with means may be given bus or train tickets out of state. Prior to hosting the 1996 Olympics, Atlanta and the state of Georgia altered its laws to arrest over 9,000 people experiencing homelessness. Wow. Interesting. and spent public funds to send homeless people on boat buses elsewhere. Where they sending them? That perception, out of mind, out of sight. Who argues with Landry? Wanted the homeless people to be invisible as wealthy tourists, national broadcasters, and global sponsors arrive for the Super Bowl. What did the Bible tell us about how we do the homeless? It tells us to give to the needy. There's going to be a lot of people that end up like Lazarus. Well, not Lazarus, the rich ruler who walked right by Lazarus. They're going to wake up burning in hell because they just didn't they didn't treat the poor right. Now, y'all think this is it. But I got to let y'all know something. No, that ain't it. There's an ethnic purging taking place in America, as well as this social purging that's taking place. Now, I want to put this out here. A lot of Mexicans during the Super Bowl were also being shipped across the border. There's a lot of news on that nobody was really paying attention to. But Trump, ICE they just kicking down doors, right? It was real. Now, I'm going to put this out here. Something else was announced during the Super Bowl that we may be looking at Cubans being targeted next. Now, you heard this here first. Cubans may be next to be packed up and shipped out of here. And America will be going back on a law that was already passed for people who were seeking diplomatic refuge. They're about to look, these conquerors, the Roman Empire, they don't stand on no deals that they make with nobody. All right. These people are savages. Their word don't mean nothing. Luke 12:33, sell your possessions and give to the poor. Provide purses for yourselves that will not wear out, a treasure in heaven that will never fail. Exactly. When you see the homeless, look, if you see a homelessness in a highly concentrated area, a good thing to do, if you got some extra funds, you can go to a Dollar Tree, right? Go to a Dollar Tree. You can spend $40 tops. You can get them toothbrushes, toothpaste, toilet paper, the deodorant, lotion, the things, the bare minimals. Put it in a little bag. Put it in bags and just give them the little baggie, like something, you know what I'm saying? And don't be like these hypocrites who want to be seen. Like, charity covers the multitude of sins. Don't be like these people who get on social media, want to pull their phone out and show themselves giving to the homeless and all of that. Look, those are just people who want to, feel like they good people, but really they trash. Proverbs 28:27, those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses. Straight up. Always give to the needy, man. So what? You think they might buy drugs with it? Take them, get them a burger, man. You ain't gotta give them money. You could give them necessities, things that they can use, things that they need. Because America doesn't have they don't care about humanity. That's up to the people. The government does not care about the homeless. If we're supposed to be civilized people, then that's our responsibility to take care of our homeless. The government don't have nothing to do with that. But anyway, I want to share y'all another source with y'all. Because Cubans are being targeted next.
In Florida are facing deportations. That's because thousands of those Cubans filed for political asylum and were granted political asylum.
Now, mind you, they filed for political asylum and they were granted political asylum, but nonetheless, America is about ready to renege on their word. Why? Because Cubans are people from the diaspora as well. This is ethnic purging. The 12 tribes of Israel are being targeted. This is the reason why you see them targeting the Haitians, talking about they eating people's cats and dogs. And now the Cubans, they're going after all us. And we not saying nothing. We sitting back watching it happen. Who do you think is next?
Asylum, except they went back and visited their homeland of Cuba. Well, the big deal is that when you file for political asylum, you're declaring that your life is in danger in your home country.
Right. When you file for political asylum, you're saying your life is in danger. So people are visiting their home country. So this is the direction that they're going to take. Like, hey, anybody who has visited Cuba, but they had political asylum here, we finna pack y'all up and ship y'all off, because they saying that don't make sense. When we know people who filing for political asylum is probably doing that because it's a dangerous situation at home regardless. It's war, it's famine, it's poverty, all these things going on. And they did what they had to do. Proverbs 31:6. Give strong drink to the one who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. That is a good scripture. But what I said, when I said even if they're gonna do drugs, I'm talking mostly about fentanyl. If you see homeless people that are strung out on heroin, fentanyl, or crack cocaine, you don't want to feed into that. But a strong drink, that, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. Y'all remember them OGs who may have fell on hard times to be outside the liquor store? Hey, young blood, give me a fifth, young blood. Young blood, give me a fifth of that Tanqueray for me, young blood. Give me a pint or something, man. You got something on my pint? I'm gonna give OG I'm gonna give OG $10, $15, $20 and like, hey, OG, here you go. I'm gonna come out with his pint. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in the liquor store. OG needs something. Hey, young blood, look out for me. I got you. That's Bible right there. Know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But anyway, let's go.
And by these Cubans going back to Cuba to visit, that means that the entire process of the political asylum was fraud. The application asked for political asylum seekers to give detail of why they can't go back to their country, why their lives are in danger in their homeland. And Cubans gave those statements that their life was in danger if they ever went back to Cuba. So going back to visit Cuba after you've been granted political asylum indicates that these Cubans have been granted political asylum based on false information. Now, it's no secret, Cubans played a huge role on the re-election of Donald Trump. And a lot of them feel let down by this administration because now they're being sent back home. So I'm going to ask all the Latino community.
So it's the whole Latino community, man. It's not just Mexicans. Look, I'm going to ask this question. All my Gentile brothers and sisters, this may upset you some, but I need to seriously ask y'all something. Should all white people be deported? It's a fair question, right? The answer is no. All white people shouldn't be deported because this is America. Although the white people in this country are illegal immigrants. They stole this land by conquest. They conquered the North American Indians and they took this land. They came from the Caucasus. So what I'm trying to put out to y'all, right? We are all victims of colonialism. So for these people to say, let's make America great again by ethnic purging is absolutely insane. This land don't belong to them. I'm even hearing this people, Native Americans, who are being deported. Being deported where? I don't know. This is their country. This is their original homeland. Where are they sending them? Anyway, let's go.
And I will do the same. you may have heard, many Cubans with permanent residency may now be facing deportation after having returned to Cuba with their permanent residence card. And this is because when you file for asylum and you are granted asylum, and many of these individuals obtain their permanent residency after seeking asylum successfully, they are essentially saying that they're scared to return to their home country. And so when they did return to Cuba, now they are being flagged for committing fraud.
Hey man, they just want a reason to get the children of Israel up out of the country. You know, this is a straight up travesty. Now, what's going on with our Mexican brothers and sisters is something else, and this is also something that was going on during the Super Bowl, right? Yeah, Cubans are cool. Cubans are cool.
And Army trucks are now at the border separating Mexico and El Paso, Texas. They're among the first of 10,000 troops that Mexico will send to its northern border after tariff threats from President Donald Trump. Patrols have also been seen near Tijuana, Mexico, near San Diego. This comes as ICE cracks down on undocumented.
Now, imagine they're going to crack down on San Diego. Now, look, let me just say the word San Diego one more time. San Diego. San Diego. Imagine ICE, police, military, 10,000 soldiers cracking down to remove people from a place that's actually theirs. The Roman Empire is demonic. San Diego belonged to the Mexicans. They stole it. Do you understand that they are literally targeting indigenous people? Colorado, Texas, Los Angeles. And y'all wonder why they burning it down? Look. The smart cities is like the new California gold rush. They got to purge first. Look, somebody says, so are you saying they're going to be a rematch? What do you mean? John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Paso, Texas. They're among the first of 10,000 troops that Mexico will send to its northern border after tariff threats from President Donald Trump. Patrols have also been seen near Tijuana, Mexico, near San Diego. This comes as ICE cracks down on undocumented immigrants already living in the United States. Yesterday, ICE conducted a multi-location enforcement operation in the Denver area. Now, this includes the apartment complex.
I told you, Colorado, and this is the interesting part. They hitting all the spots that belong to the Mexicans. This was their land. This is what makes this so offensive and wrong. It would have been different, right? It would have been different if they just created some type of group that only targeted criminals. But these people migrated back to their original homeland, and now ICE, along with the National Guards, is out here really targeting these people. Somebody said a Mexican-American war rematch. I don't think that, listen, Mexico don't have the resources to go to war with America. And that's why America is so comfortable with flexing the way they doing. Somebody said life ain't fair and heaven is our home. I agree with you. But, you know, this message is for people who want to see what's going on in the world. Anyway, let's continue.
Deemed to be a criminal nuisance after a series of incidents relating to gang activity.
Unfortunately, we have to come to the communities because we don't get the cooperation that we need from the jails. It would be so much easier and so much safer for our officers and agents if we could take these people into custody from a safe environment. But if we have to come out in the community to do this, that's what we're going to do.
All right, see, let me respond to this person here. Reborn Empire says, I rock with you, Bree, but some of your takes be off. Kendrick, it says, Kendrick, the enemy, but Candace Owens, a sister? If it's true, but call it all what it is. I don't know what you're trying to say. What does Kendrick Lamar have to do with Candace Owens? I don't understand the point you're trying to make or the dots you're trying to connect. I don't get it. Kendrick Lamar is a multi-platinum artist who has the ears of millions of people, who puts up satanic imagery in his music. He's just like every other celebrity. Candace Owens is what we would call I would call her more like a political pundit. And I don't agree with all her takes when it comes to politics. She seemed to be strong right. But I do agree with her takes on certain history that she brings out and sources she brings out. I can take what I'm learning, or I could take the meat, spit out the bones. So I don't know where you were going with that, but anyway, let's continue. Let's stay on subject here.
Meanwhile, the Department of Defense just shared this video of first flight of undocumented immigrants arriving at Guantanamo Bay. The DOD says the people on the flight were, quote, high-threat criminals who brought violence and mayhem to communities. CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya Galvez is following all of this for us, talking about deportation and immigration. So, Camilo, first off, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. What do we know about these migrant holding operations happening at Guantanamo Bay?
Well, U.S. officials tell
they're happening at Guantanamo Bay, man. This is wild.
CBS News that a military plane is currently in the air en route to Cuba to transport nearly a dozen migrant detainees
to Cuba. Look, they already got started. They already got started transporting Cubans out of here. It's crazy. They're going to go after the whole 12 tribes, y'all. They're going to do it. Look, they're going to do it one by one. I think it's time to let people, I think it's time for our people to start getting ready to leave out of America. For real. It's like they trying to warn you, like, you might as well get up out of here. Go to your home base. This place is wild. You build a country for them. They say that this is a melting pot. They tell you that this is a democracy. And then look how this going down. Now the Cubans getting shipped off too.
To Guantanamo Bay so they can be held there as part of this operation that was greenlighted by President Trump to really create a massive detention center there for
to create a massive detention center. And you know, if it's for people who committed heinous crimes and violent acts, then yeah, so be it. It is what it is.
Those who are arrested by immigration authorities in the interior of the U.S., on the U.S. mainland. And this is the second of these types of flights that have occurred this week, sending again a dozen detainees. We are told that these immigrants are from Venezuela and that they have alleged and suspected ties to the notorious and infamous Venezuelan prison gang, Tren de Aragua.
Okay, so if they're getting criminals out, it is what it is.
Which, of course, has become a
Let's go.
And so right now, detention facilities across the country have surpassed that.
I see people want to talk about K-Dot, huh? Somebody said Kendrick did a couple questionable things, but I'm still leaning towards him being for us. If the truth comes out, K-Dot working with the enemy, he got to accept it and move accordingly. Look, let me just show you something. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm talking about the Super Bowl distraction. Because clearly you didn't see Kendrick Lamar standing in a pyramid with the lady in red in the Super Bowl. Or you haven't heard Kendrick's song Lucy, we was talking about selling his soul to Satan. Or you haven't heard Reincarnated, where he's also rapping as if he is Satan. Maybe y'all just not paying attention, right? Or maybe you didn't see Kendrick performing like this on stage. Maybe you missed this. Maybe you missed when Kendrick was on stage looking demonically possessed with all black contacts. Maybe this kind of demonic imagery is just suitable for you. Listen, when you talk about for us, we're in a battle versus good and evil. This ain't about skin color. They pick our leaders. So maybe, okay, maybe you haven't read Kendrick's. Watch this. See, this is what I got to do sometimes. Just so y'all will stop idolizing these people, right? Maybe you need, hold on, is this the one? Yeah, maybe you need the lyrics for sale. For sale. Because you know he sold his soul, right? Maybe you need the lyrics when he was talking to Lucy. Hold on, nah. I listened to lyrics. They said to me, you said your name was Lucy. I said, where's Ricardo? You said, oh no, not that show. Then you spit a little rap to me like this. When I turned 26, I was like, oh ish. You said to me, I remember what you said too. You said my name is Lucy, Kendrick. You introduced me, Kendrick. Usually I don't do this, but I see you and me, Kendrick. The devil is Lucifer. Lucy, give me no worries. Lucy give you no worries. Lucy got millions of stories about these rappers that came after when they was boring. Lucy gonna fill your pockets. Lucy gonna move your mama out of Compton and set a gigantic mansion like I promised. Come on, man. Lucy, I just want your trust and loyalty. Avoiding me? It says, it's not so easy. I'm at these functions accordingly. Kendrick, Lucy, don't slack a minute. Lucy, work harder. Listen, do I need to go on and on? Do I need to go on and on about how your boy K. Dot sold his soul to the devil, to Lucifer? That's not Jezebel. Lucy is right. That's not Jezebel. Fill your pockets with millions. Move your mama out to projects, out of Compton into a Met. That's Lucifer, who gives the rudiments of this world to these celebrities. Have you seen his demonic? All right, so let me show you more. Because people wonder, is Kendrick for us or is Kendrick not? Let's answer this right now. Look, you got to be paying attention. You got to be paying attention. Have y'all not seen a man trying to walk on water like Jesus in videos? Have you not seen this? Hold on. Have you not seen this blasphemy? Have you not seen this blasphemy? I mean, what are y'all missing? What are you missing? He mocked Jesus Christ. He mocked the Savior. If you listen to the things that he's saying in his songs, he raps as if he's the devil himself. Now, this crown of thorns is made out of diamonds. It's made out of diamonds. I mean, just how blasphemous can one be? Kendrick Lamar is wicked. Y'all, this is the problem with our people. We keep looking for a king. We keep looking for somebody that's a celebrity to save us. Kendrick told you in his album, he said, Celebrity don't mean integrity, you fools. Called you fools because he know he sold out. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but his end therefore are the ways of death. So while you were watching the Super Bowl, you were looking at another puppet control opposition. The man told you he's a stargazer. That's a sorcerer. That's a necromancer. Yep, somebody said it. Oh, sister 1973 says Satan's aim is to disrupt people's relationship with Christ. He tries to shift people's focus from God and his word to themselves and the temptation of sin. That's exactly what it is. So, like, I see the world torn. Was Kendrick Lamar's performance trash? Was it good? Was it this? Was it that? Yeah, it was trash, just like the rest of the satanic nonsense that they put out on the Super Bowl and aired to 200 million people. And I want everybody to get the likes up on the video. Get those likes up on the video. Every stream I do should have at least 2,000 people in it. They've been playing with my numbers for far too long now. It's some of the most riveting, enlightening content coming from this particular channel. And, you know, we break this down to the lowest, you know, condescend to the lowest level. Somebody says, Isaiah 14:12, Satan reveals himself, his hatred of humanity, and his plan to exalt his throne above the stars. Exactly. Somebody said, does the stream keep pausing for anyone else? No, it's probably just your device. But I'm telling y'all right now, while we were watching the Super Bowl, while the world was watching it, I wasn't watching it. Something dark was going on with the homeless in New Orleans, just 7 miles from the Super Bowl. They took 200 people and pretty much locked them up. And there's people from New Orleans saying that they haven't seen their family members, right? And at least people, and I'm going to say allegedly because it's people that I talk to firsthand, connects that I have. But nonetheless, hey, out of sight, out of mind is the slogan, right? Out of sight, out of mind is what America's pushing, right? But that was some dark stuff. And I thought I would draw some awareness to it because I want you to understand that there's rituals in this country. It's not as civilized as you believe it is. It's very barbaric behind the scenes. Very barbaric. Somebody says, I'm half native and half Mexican, and I like your channel because I see what you're talking about. I believe in Christ. That's what's up, April. Yeah, my wife is Latin. My wife is Latina. Mexican. So, you know, I'm all for the culture. Make no mistake about that. I'm all for the culture. Somebody says, it was said that the same thing happened with Katrina. Over 200 men went missing. Yes. There was a lot of people who were missing. And they stick to that number 200. And for whatever reason, they spent $16 million on this relocation plan for these people to transition. But where are they transitioning to? Where are these people transitioning to? What did they do with those homeless people? When I see stuff like that, I just want to know. Somebody says, Yeah, they did the Squid Game ritual for sure. They did the Squid Game ritual for sure in that Super Bowl halftime show. And Squid Games was a real thing. In case y'all didn't know, Squid Games was real. It really took place. It was called Brothers Home. And it happened in Northern Korea. No, I believe it was Southern Korea. It was Northern or Southern Korea. And Brother Home was a place that homeless people, whoa, yo, yo. Bruh, do y'all see the ritual? Yo, I'm about to get up and walk out of here, bro. Bro. You know when the light bulb just goes off? Yo. Hold on. I'm going to play something for y'all. In case y'all wondering why I'm like, yo. Hold on. So the Super Bowl, in case y'all don't know, y'all didn't pay attention to symbology. They had the X, the circle, the square. Uncle Sam was talking about playing the game. I read in my breakdown, I showed y'all what each symbol meant. Now the light bulb just went off. During oh man, they really, wow. Wow, that's dark. But it's true. Let me show y'all something real quick, in case y'all wonder what I'm talking about. They did the whole Squid Games thing.
Did you know that the Squid Game really existed and is based on a true story? In the 1970s, there were special camps in South Korea where women, men, and even children of all ages were taken. They all wore the same blue uniforms and were called by numbers exactly the same as in the Squid Game. In these camps, they lived in rooms full of bunk beds, and each of these rooms housed an average of 100 people. In these camps, hundreds or even thousands of people worked every day in harsh conditions. And if they chose to resist or even run away, they were punished by the guards.
They were punished by the guards. There was no escaping.
Were very cruel and often ended in death. But why did these camps exist?
But why did these camps exist? Peep this. Why did these camps exist?
Korea had a problem that a lot of people were unemployed or homeless. So
a lot of people were what? A lot of people were what? Nah. Nah. Hey.
So the government decided to create a program to give these people a second chance.
So the government decided to create a program that gives these people a second chance. Ain't that what they talking about? Giving them a transition? Claiming that they're going to have homes and they're going to transition to a greater place? Yo, they did the same thing in South Korea. The Super Bowl, 7 miles from the Super Bowl, the homeless was getting rounded up in a facility. They was getting rounded up in a facility to be given what? A second chance.
But the problem was that instead of these people, those who were perfectly fine were also brought to the camps.
Meaning there was just regular people getting snatched up in these camps too.
And over time, these places became concentration camps.
Over time, these places became concentration camps. There ain't nothing new under the sun. That's right. Somebody said it. They be telling us everything, but nobody be seeing it.
Camps. The government shut down these camps a few years later, but still tries to keep most of the information secret.
Just like they keeping what's going on with those facilities secret. They learn from South Korea. They like, you know what? Nobody allowed in. Keep everything off the books. And listen, information is expensive. So if it's $16 million put towards this initiative, that's hush money. With the right amount of money, you could keep everything silent.
It is not.
And this is all alleged. Look, this is just how my mind is wired. I question things. I think a certain way. I'm saying allegedly with all of this, but the Most High sees all. Absolutely. Let's go.
Confirmed if Squid Game was actually based on this real event. But if you look at all the details mentioned, it is.
Now you see the square and all of that. That's what Kendrick was doing, performing in the squares. They had the circle. They had the train. Looked like a PlayStation controller.
Quite possible that it really was like this. Subscribe. Did you know that the
Bro. Now, while we were being distracted with that halftime show, this what was going on. Telling y'all. CJ says tons of military out there too. Exactly. And you know, in the relocation warnings, it said that they can be enforcers. They warned them. It's like, look, we bring in the enforcers. What do you think Squid Games had? They had enforcers. The people wearing the shapes, I believe triangle. Yeah, the ones who had the triangle, those were the enforcers. Man. Somebody said the Roman Empire would distract the people by putting shows at the Colosseum. That's exactly what they did with the Super Bowl. And Samuel L. Jackson was used to promote military propaganda. And Kendrick Lamar, he was used to lead our people to damnation. In his performance, he was walking the stage with an army of people behind him. And he led them into a big X. X marks the spot. All the people he led into the X was wearing white. They represented the pure at heart. Because you know it says if they could fool the very elect, they would. Just like the brother was questioning. I think Kendrick might be for us. He might be this, he might be that. Look, you are a pure mind, so I'm not attacking you. You just want to see the best in people. I get that. But Kendrick is a deceiver. So he's leading people into the X. And then he leads the others into the circle. They're walking in circle aimlessly. And the circle represents being docile, a continual hamster wheel where people are just zombified. They're walking around the circle, and then it gives you an aerial view. And then the X turns off while he's singing, turn your TV off. He led you, and here to add insult to injury, while he was leading people into the X, the crowd lit up and said, warning, wrong way. There was a light, there were lights in the audience that said, warning, wrong way. And Kendrick just marching you, marching you, marching you. And then at the end, it says game over. They're playing a game with you. Somebody said, pull up the video proving. I did that already. You're asking me to do something that I've already done. Go look at my stream from yesterday. Somebody said, pull up the video, Bree, break it down. I've already done that. You late, bruh. I'm just giving you a rendition of what I've already showed y'all. And nobody else is breaking it down like this. Y'all have no idea how many people I've seen take to Instagram and just repeat everything I said and they put it in a short. Right after I said it, of course they go viral. But right after I said it, all kind of shorts came out of people saying the same thing. Of course, they didn't give me my credit, but that's just come with the territory. I'm just glad the information out there. Philippians 3:2. Be cautious of those who could lead you astray with false teaching and evil deeds. Exactly. And that's what Kendrick been doing. got us thinking that he's a messiah-like figure for the people. Nah. Look, you don't get 5 Grammy Awards if you for the people. That doesn't happen. You're being rewarded by the world because you are of the world. Remember, the scripture says the world loves its own. That's why it tells us to rejoice that we hated by the world. A lot of people say that the music that I put out is some of the best they heard. I don't get rewarded for that. You know why? Because it's real truth music. And I can tell y'all this right now, listening to my music, you don't have to worry about hidden messages. You don't have to worry about me ruining your mind and corrupting you and trying to, cast spells and do weird things. Look, I even record my music at the right frequency. I put my music at the right hertz. I make sure that I'm very conscious to what I'm saying and how I'm feeling that day before I record. I pray, and make sure it's the right message. These other artists out here, they tapping into something dark to put out their music. They tapping into the archons and the shadow bins. I seen a video where they were saying Lil Wayne goes in the corner and chants and then gets in the booth. We don't need to do none of that. Look, when your music is inspired by the Most High, they're not trying to push that, especially on YouTube when Leo Cohen is YouTube's music global representative. There's no way. There's no way. That's why, for the record, my music is available on all platforms. It may take a few days for the music to hit all platforms, but I'm literally digitally remastering. Here's the good news, y'all. I'm digitally remastering all my music. It's going to have the perfect sound clarity, and it is being distributed on every platform: Apple Music, Spotify. That's what I've been working on these last couple of days, making sure that it's put out there, right? Somebody said, I can't even find your other channel. It's New Breed Universal ENT. But the music on YouTube is not the best quality. You do have some songs that have good quality, but the music on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere, it's going to be perfect, digitally remastered, professionally digitally remastered. But I'm going to tell you, man, everybody be distracted, man. These zombies be out here, these NPCs. We in a world full of NPCs. As soon as you start telling them the truth, it be shocking their system. Sometimes when we putting these messages out, it's actually making the NPCs tweak out. Some of y'all be playing my material around people. Y'all gotta blast that. Be proud of this material. Cause some of y'all be scared. Y'all be hiding the truth because y'all don't want to seem crazy. So you don't be trying to put, you know what I'm saying? You don't be trying to put the word out there because you don't want people to look at you crazy. Look, you got to start being bold as a lion. If I can put my life on the line, putting this message out, yeah, you can make them NPCs tweak out for it. You play this stuff out loud, or you start repeating some of the things that you learn, people be tweaking. They don't want that info. Somebody said the Basic Instinct joint you had is pure fire. What Basic Instinct joint? Let me see. Oh, Nip had was pure fire. Yeah, okay. Somebody said you heard about KKK in Cincinnati. I did hear about that. I have heard about that. And that's another thing that's taking place. They're really gearing up for a race war in this country. They're gearing up for it. They're creating a perfect environment for a race war. Somebody said American Dreaming, my favorite song. Oh, man, that's what's up. Oh, wait till y'all hear some of the tracks. Look, I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm just going to drop them, and y'all gonna enjoy I hope y'all enjoy the music that I'm going to be dropping, because I work very diligently on putting out premium music. And of course, we're going to have brothers like King Connect, Jakeem Judah. We're going to have brothers like, we already got you with Desire. We got Shy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have brothers like Dre Static on there. Brothers like Woodrow, former member of Drew Hill in rotation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody said Serena Williams crip walking was sad. It was real sad. Why would a married woman get out there and be crip walking because she used to date Drake? Like, how does your husband feel about that? How does your husband feel about that? It's like, that just made her look petty and bad. Made her look petty and bad. Ephesians 4:15. Speaking in the truth and love, we are to grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ. Absolutely. Sister, I got to give sister her wrench. After this stream, sister 1973, you will be wrenched up. She definitely got to get her wrench. She been a member. She been supportive. She always coming with the word. She be so sharp with the word. I be having scriptures ready. I be having, and the spirit be working in this sister, because she'll have the scripture ready and I'll be looking at my screen about to read it. But sister be coming through, boom. She just be on it. She be on it. And that's what I like. It's iron sharpening iron on here. Somebody says Deja Vu is actually the greatest piece of art you ever created. Wow. And you know, this is the interesting thing about my music. Everybody has a favorite song. It's not, you know, and it'd be ones I don't expect people. It'd be ones that I don't expect people to like. And then my personal favorites, I won't tell y'all, because a lot of times my personal favorites, those are not the biggest songs. My personal favorites be some low key tracks. And but the ones that y'all be liking, I don't even be expecting it. Yes, Finesse is one of my favorites. I tell y'all that much. Finesse is, because I was spitting from a place that was really happening, and it was very introspective. Yeah, somebody said full-blooded. See, man, you know, this is what it's about for me, man. You know, I don't have to have millions of views. It's just that the people who rock with my music, man, I do this for y'all. I do that for y'all, man, because y'all really rock with it. It don't matter if it's 20 of y'all watching, 30 of y'all. If the music, if y'all really rocking with it, I ain't selling my soul to be famous, bro. I'm not doing it. My soul is worth way too much. Somebody said they like Ring of Fire. Somebody said, I know what it's like. Somebody said Full-Blooded. See, it's people like different tracks. And you know, it was crazy when we did our jamboree, man, I came out of my trailer and we was walking the campgrounds. Yo, it was just different songs. People had their music devices, had their speakers. Man, it was love, bro. I'm walking through the campsite and all I hear is, by different tents, there's just different songs playing. And that moment right there was like, it was very endearing and it's very memorable for me. Cause that was a dope time, you know. Inspiration, somebody said Lone, Mini Mansions. Somebody said Lone Ranger. Yeah, man. See, it's a lot of tracks, man. Yes, Conspiracy is one of my favorite. Yes, Conspiracy. Somebody said Conspiracy is a powerful. Yeah, Conspiracy is actually one of my favorite. That's why y'all heard me play it so many times. That's one of my favorite because it's really breaking down what's happening. It talks about the artificial intelligence. It talks about the cloning labs. It talks about what these other artists are doing on the songs, the masters, and it's very detailed and well delivered. Yep. Oh man, and Red Carpet is another one I really like. Somebody said New Breed of Assassins. Yes. Starstruck. Music industry. Yes. And I also like Maverick. That's one of my favorite. And Plenty of Gold is one of my favorite too. Featuring 3. Quite Alright. That's another one of my favorites. Somebody said Lost Generation. Yeah, I didn't like that song. I didn't like Lost Generation, but everybody loves it. I was like, man, this joint all right. They say I keep it a buck. I think it was all right. Matter of fact, once I digitally remaster it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some of that song over again. I think I would like it better if I did it over. The Lost Generation. I think I like it better if I did it over. Yeah, Marcus Garvey, Clairvoyant, Lost Generation, Mentions. Yeah, Mentions is sick. Mentions is hard. Yep. Somebody said New Breed lyrics be having you really be a whole live stream worth of information. Yeah, man, somebody said take that music back. Somebody said, you know, a white man write that, right? A white man write what? My lyrics? Hey man, don't make me put you on timeout, bro. Shout out to my Gentile brothers and sisters. I write my own music. I write all my own lyrics, bro. We don't do that. Evolving, yep. That's a joint. Yeah, man. Only time will tell. Yep. Demonstrate with Jakeem Judah. Like, we got hits after hits after hits. And I'm gonna do a song collab with I'm gonna do one with Clone and Cloaks, aka the Don Illuminati. I'm gonna do a track with him. We gotta do us some war stuff, man. 3 Kings, yeah, the 3 Kings, another one. Somebody said, I ain't gonna lie, that Super Bowl performance was like a minstrel show. I'm gonna have to agree. Everybody thought Samuel L. Jackson was cool, but they was like, yeah, that's Uncle Sam right there. No, that's Uncle Sambo. That's the dude from the Django right there, trying to tell y'all to get the American spirit back. Fall into patriotism when we should be getting ourselves together. Oh man, Runaway featuring Jennifer Lawrence. Oh yeah, that's another one that slide. Hold up. My bad. Hold on. Why is this not charging? One moment. Oh well, it's about that time anyway, brothers and sisters. It's always an honor building with y'all. It's always an honor building with y'all, man. And we got more material coming. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down. Till next time, y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for the support. Respect. With that being said, shalom. Peace.